Watch this video only if you desire to never feel worthless again. Our self-worth dictates almost everything in our lives. What it is that we're able to attract, what is it that we pursue, our ability to attain the things that we truly want. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kay and I help individuals find their purpose and navigate all the obstacles and fears that come up in the process. If you find value in anything that I say and you wish to work with me one-on-one, either send me a DM on Instagram or in the email in my bio. Now, how do we define self-worth? Self-worth is the internal state of believing that you are worthy of attaining that which you desire. It is what you think you are worthy of. What is worth, right? What you think that you are deserving of. So self-worth is a deservingness. And in fact, we pursue anything in life because we believe that we can attain it. The problem with how we navigate self-worth is we don't even really understand the definition. In fact, the way we perceive it is so wrong, because the underlying reason why we pursue anything in this life is to feel as if we are enough. So at the root of self-worth, defining self-worth is this concept of enoughness. We aim to find our self-worth from things outside of us. The question then becomes, what about self-worth do we have so wrong? The problem is, we assign self-worth to the things that we desire to attain. Example, we find worth in either physical attributes, accolades, material things, a particular person, a particular lifestyle. And all of these things are external factors, things outside of us. And we pursue these things so that when we get it, we think that we'll feel more enough than we feel now. We think that the attainment of these things will fulfill us, will make us feel content. But this is the wrong way of going about it, and I'll tell you why. If an unfortunate life event was to rob you of those things, then what would happen to your self-worth? You'll feel worthless. The self-worth plummets. You'll feel not deserving of life or living. This may result you getting to a depressive state. The example that I like to give is, imagine the athlete that prides himself on his athletic ability. And now, one day during a game, due to an unfortunate life event, he encounters an injury that puts him out of playing his chosen sport completely. Now, because this individual found his whole identity and his self-worth in his athletic ability, he now feels worthless and he enters a strong state of depression. Sorry, there's a little kid just staring at me. He's riding his bike and he just stopped, staring at me. So he made me chuckle. But now that he's unable to play his chosen sport, his sense of self-worth has plummeted and he feels worthless. So now what is the solution to this? And this is the secret to life, honestly. If you do not tie your self-worth to anything outside of you, then nothing can rob you of it. And you can never really feel worthless. One more time for the people in the back. If you don't tie your self-worth to things outside of you, then nothing can rob you of it. And you can no longer ever feel worthless. But here's the problem, right? We're accustomed to finding our self-worth to things outside of us. So this new concept of not tying your self-worth to anything outside of you is foreign to us. It's foreign to us, but let me tell you this. God created you. The only thing that you're promised in this life is death. Meaning, you will die the same way you were born. You take nothing that is worldly with you. Would that not imply that you had everything that you needed? Would that not imply that you are enough? As you are currently right now. Absent of all things. So, if you take nothing with you when you die, all you really have is time. Think about it. All you really have is time. And you're here in this life to experience this life. Yeah? To go through the procedure of experiencing life in general. That's it. That's what you're here to do. Experience life. But yet, we find ourselves tying our self-worth to things outside of us. Things to attain. In fact, this was the whole goal of capitalism. It was to fill you with inadequacy so that you feel worthless and find worth in things outside of you, which puts you in a state of constant consumerism and consumption. And what does that do? It stimulates the economy, baby. Your inadequacy, your lack of strong sense of self-worth, your feeling of worthless makes you want to attain worth through things outside of you, through material things, which means you become a strong consumer. And then, when you become a strong consumer, stimulates the economy. You know, this system was designed with a greater understanding of how your mind works than you know and understand. And that's the greatest part about it. Once you understand that, the reason why it's called a matrix is when they propose you certain options, they can almost guess which option you will take every single time. Why? Because they understand you better than you understand yourself. But anyway, the secret to self-worth, the secret to always feeling worthy, is to allow it to come from internally. And here's the thing, right? You don't need a reason to feel worthy. My self-worth comes from the fact that I just am and God created me. Hey, if I was born, then I'm deserving to live this life and attain every physical and material thing. It is the meaning and the value you assign to the things that you desire that make you, that allow you to perceive it as more than you. But you are the most important thing in this universe. You are God's greatest creation. Artificial intelligence is based on the construct of your mind. In order for you to experience those experiences that you crave and desire so much, it requires you. In order for you to experience, it requires you. That fancy car you want is just a piece of metal. What makes it special is the meaning you assign to it. And here's the kicker, brother. Here's the kicker. I love that phrase. Here's the kicker. The meaning you assign to it is a part of yourself that you assign to it. You know what? There's no experience outside the self. There is no experience outside the self. So the meaning in which you assign to the things that you desire is a part of yourself that you assign to it. This includes material objects, experience, jobs, accolades, and even people. So if you're attached to something, material object, a particular experience, even a particular person, first you've got to question yourself, what part of myself have I assigned to that thing? And once you find the answer to that, you can easily reclaim it and understand that it was you that made that thing special, that person special, that experience special, that job special. And you only attain in this life what it is that you think are worthy of obtaining. So when you don't tie yourself worth to anything, and you find worth simply in the way that God created you, and you understand that you're in this life simply to experience it and nothing else, then you stop believing that there are certain experiences that you aren't worthy of, when all you came here to do is experience it. Your value is not based on digits on the screen with paper with the faces of presidents that are no longer around. Your value is not based on the perception of another flawed human being, another flawed son or daughter of Adam. Your worth is not based on all the accolades or the physical attribution you have. You are worthy of experiencing life simply because you are, and that's what you came here to do. Now, when you find worth in the way that God created you, and you reside, by residing in self, you're residing in Him. By residing in Him, you're residing in yourself. You know, the great Muslim poet Rumi said, when I look for God, I find myself. When I look for myself, I find God. So find peace and find worth in the way God created you and find it internally. Right? And stop assigning your value to things outside of you. Because when you're robbed of those things, you're also robbed of a sense of self-worth. You end up feeling worthless. And if you no longer ever want to feel worthless, find worth in the way you are inside. And here's the thing. Now we've acquired this new knowledge. It's going to be change isn't overnight. And you know what makes it difficult? We often reside to the things that we are used to. Our default settings. Our mind loves to think how we usually think. So when we acquire new knowledge, we must actively practice identifying with the new identity that we have just developed, our new way of thinking. Now, you've developed an understanding of why you should find your self-worth internally. So how do you implement that? You remind yourself, I do not find worth in things outside of me. I do not find worth in other people's perceptions. I do not find worth in digital figures or paper or my ability to attain or attract something that I desire. I'm enough already, and that is simply complementary to my existence. Because I reside and feel enough due to the way God has created. And you must consistently always remind yourself of this up until it becomes your new normal and your new way of thinking. So when you acquire knowledge, you must understand that our emotions do not operate on logic. They operate on emotional conviction. So we must, through logic, consistently remind ourselves of the new identity we have developed and identify with that identity. So reside in the way that God created you. Understand you are worthy of this life and worthy of anything you desire, because you're simply here to experience it. And you take nothing with you when you die, making you worthy of deserving it all. This is my last point before I let you guys go. When I find myself mentally beating myself up about things, I ask myself, and to what standard am I holding myself to? And who has formed this standard? And why do I think this flawed individual is worthy of setting a standard that I hold myself to? And I suggest that you propose to yourself the same question. It's been your boy KPOV, and I hope that after watching this video, you never ever feel worthless ever again. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you want, share with a friend.